And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Another 24-hour period has passed. Can you believe that? Already April the 9th? Actually, it's April the 7th, isn't it? Got that date mixed up. This is Good Friday. I hope we remember what all of this is about as Good Friday begins. Some places will be out today. I think most schools are. And as we lead toward Easter Sunday, don't forget what that's about. Of course, we'll have a good message coming up here in a minute for everyone. As we start today, a little cooler than it's been, 58 right now, due to the rain. Now, we've got more on the way, but as we take a quick look this morning at radar of what's going on, shower activity out to the west and northwest of Meridian at this point. Light showers in Philadelphia, around Macon as well, Kosciuszko. And we're also getting rain there in Louisville. To the south, a little bit worse, and this is going to be a problem later today in this area around the Mississippi Gulf Coast from Hattiesburg south. Will be some severe weather possible as we get into those areas. Let's go ahead and pull this up and show you exactly what I mean by this of severe weather on the coast today. It's a level 1, but if you'll notice here, this is going to go all the way back to Lafayette and take in Baton Rouge and Slidell, Biloxi, and over to Mobile. As you look here, and this is not going to start until you get into Hattiesburg, Richton, these areas here, going all the way Gulfport. Watch Highway 90 in those areas there. Saraland also included in that. And again, that's a level 1 thunderstorm activity there. You never can rule out anything with those level 1s, but not as intense as it could be. That's a glimpse of what's going to happen. We'll take a complete look at that forecast in a moment as we dive deep into the forecast. Hang tight. We'll have all that coming up here in just a moment. Again, let's head to Collinsville now. Find out a few things that's, happening good. Let's hear from Brother Ben.
Well, good morning. Easter Sunday is just 3 days away, and we would love for you to come celebrate the resurrection of Jesus with us at Collinsville First Baptist Church at 10:15 a.m. this Sunday. Now, if there's a day on the calendar that a person ought to be in a church building, especially a Christian, it's on Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. So whether it's at Collinsville First Baptist or somewhere else, please find a place this Sunday to worship God for what He's done for us in Jesus Christ. But today is the day on the Christian calendar that we call Good Friday. It's the day we commemorate Jesus Christ being crucified to death on the cross. Now you might be thinking, boy, preacher, that doesn't sound like a Good Friday. Well, in one sense it wasn't. In one sense it was an awful Friday. I mean, the Son of God, God in the flesh, the Messiah Christ, Jesus being put to death by the will of the Jewish people through the hands of Gentile Romans is not good in the least. But in another sense, it was indeed a very good day because through Jesus' death, our sins were paid for. You see, on the cross, Jesus paid for the sins of every person who will turn from sin and trust in Him. God poured out His wrath on Him instead of on us, making a way for you and me to be forgiven and saved. And that, my friend, makes for a very good day. Have you received the forgiveness and salvation that was purchased for you by Jesus on that cross almost 2,000 years ago? If not, I pray you'll do so today on this Good Friday, and that'll make it the best Friday you'll ever experience. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. Always good to hear from Brother Ben, isn't it? Does a fine job. And again, they'll be having church services Sunday morning. I hope you can make it out for that. Well, as we begin to look around the nation today, what's shaping our country, what's going on, let's start and let's go to Colorado first this morning. As we all know of the lady in, was it Nashville, I believe, that done the shooting at the school, the transgender lady. 4 days after that event, feds arrested someone else. This time they weren't able to get away with it, but it would be a Colorado transgender lady, person, 19 years old, who had planned going to shoot up about 3 of her former schools. She was caught before she could do it. I don't know what the movement is on this type thing, but it doesn't sound good, does it? She was stopped before she could carry out her plans. As always, it's good to help others that need help. And I say this with sincerity, with all my heart, of if you have a passion for something, that you go out and you try to make a difference in the world, that's great. But never let your guard down. We go to a state that's not talked about much next, Vermont. I think Bernie Sanders is there, is the only thing that pops in mind. And maybe, what was it? Chevy Chase made a movie. What was that? Animal Farm that time, that may have been based in Vermont. I don't know much about it. But a lady that lived there was doing her best to make a difference in the world by working at a homeless shelter. She was 36 years old. She was axed to death by one of the occupants. I know those are sad, sad things, but never let your guard down no matter what you're doing, who you're trying to help. Be aware of your surroundings. We pass along condolences to her family as we learned that this morning. A Marine sister is saying Biden is destroying America within. She uses the example of where yesterday it came out where Biden said it's Trump's fault that all those lost their lives as they were leaving Afghanistan. I don't think most Americans believe that. That's what was said. Here's something that as we watch all of this new movement across America, as we've often said, that it's hard to take a classic TV show or movie and redo it and really make it as good as it once was. What's your thoughts on this? Grease in the works for a TV version of it. But this time it will be a little bit different as they look at this, and they call it, multicultural, all female. It will explore all sexual orientation, gender expression, racial identity. And the list keeps going of what it will be. Nothing like the original. What happened to just a TV show or a good movie without it having a political thing to it? It's the best way I know how to describe that. But that is the latest that has come to a television near you. Be ready for that. So who's leading at this point? Presidential bid, of course, is 2 years out for the next election. But as we watch polls and numbers consistently, we see that now Trump is leading the pack. Way over DeSantis as well. Way over Joe. That's what it has at this point. Donald at 34%, Ron DeSantis at 26%, and Joe at 24%. Mike Pence even got a 18%. That's higher than I ever expected. Nikki Haley down there on the catfish on the bottom there at 12%. She doesn't stand a chance. She knows it. She's trying to get her name out there for a later run. But that's what it's shaping up to of names in the presidential election of the next go-round in 24. We'll keep track with that and let you know as it comes about. Good morning already, 6:40 as we begin this day together. We'll check your forecast next. We'll bring a smile to you as well.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
And off to the races we go with today being Good Friday. In 2006, it was a warm day, 88. We look for our record low set way back when. Doesn't really seem that long ago, but I guess we're clocking on 70-something years ago. In 1950, it was 29 degrees on this date. As we move forward to find out what that forecast holds for today, as you'll see Meridian going to be somewhere around 67 to 68 degrees as we go through Philadelphia and wind up further north as we go right through Louisville. Looks like we'll be somewhere right around 59 in that area. Columbus Air Force Base sitting at 60. And out to our west, 58 there in Vicksburg. That's due to the amount of rain that will be on that side of the state. As we go east into Alabama this morning, we show that Tuscaloosa will be at 69. Birmingham should be 70 and warmer as you go to the east. Montgomery, Alabama, looks like it'll be about 83 there and toward the coast. As we get down to Troy, Alabama, about 86 is what we see. Now, as we look at this, flash flooding, we got a lot that's going to happen over the next 24 hours as we try to make our way to Sunday, Easter Sunday, to get out of this rain. But today and tomorrow, rain and more rain. As we look at this, the likelihood of flash flooding, strong, up to 2 to 4 inches in our area over a short period of time as I try to get tongue twisted here. This means that some roads could be flooded and minor river flooding. Now, it's not here yet, but look for that over the next 24 hours. We'll be on top of it for you. And even up in the Mississippi Delta, it'll be a limited threat. But we're at that level 2 here in the Meridian area, most of Mississippi in it. Now, as we look at the temperatures, it's warm. A little bit of a cool front out Washington, California, in those areas. A little bit there in Nevada, but still warm in the south. As we look at our 7-day forecast now, brought to you by our friends over at Wilson Saw and Outdoor. 68 today, maybe 67 where you are. And cool for the next 2 days due to this rain. Kind of tampering everything, getting it down. 70% chance of rain today and tomorrow. That's where we're going to get this chance of flooding. Low of 50 tomorrow night. As we move into Sunday, Easter comes about. And remember, those 3 wooden crosses as we start today. 65 for a high on Sunday. We'll head back to work on Monday with a high of 67. And as the week progresses, the warmer it will get. 73, 76 by Thursday is that outlook there. Partly cloudy sky. As we go further into April, can you believe we're even saying April the 21st? We're back to the 80s beginning, mid-month, about the 14th, and we'll stay hovering somewhere between 80 to 87 even. The 15th, look at that. 85 on the 16th. We have a couple of days of 76-ish degree weather around the 19th, but for the most part, it'll be into the 80s. Now, remember, all that's subject to change. Why? It's Mother Nature. That's the reason. As we look at that fishing forecast today from Chet's Paint and Body, April the 7th is what we have today. Your best time to fish will be somewhere around this afternoon, beginning at 2 o'clock. We'll call it 2 to 4. Give it 20 minutes on either side there. Get your worms, get your minnows, and be ready. Should be a great day if you can handle the rain, because I'm afraid you'll get wet if you go today. Some people love it, though. It's okay so long as it's not lightning. Enjoy yourself out there. A brief look at the forecast this morning. Again, we're sitting at 58 right now as we wait for a high of only 10 degrees difference from now. We'll make it to 68. Odie's standing by. He'll be here as the morning show gets underway in just a little bit, beginning at 7, so we can give you a rundown of all what's gone on from train derailments. Boy, was that a mess. We've had a few accidents in the area. And also, we'll tell you the latest grand jury report. It's scathing. It's the truth, and we'll share that with you coming up at the top of the hour. Don't miss any of this, as we'll bring it live to you here from East Mississippi. Good morning, and thanks for watching the Scotty Ray Report. We'll see you soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: